There goes off the PS4. Hey guys, Jake here. Today we're going to be talking about The Witch, or as the movie prefers to call itself, The Vitch, because it is too cool to be spelled correctly, or normally. I'm going to let you know right off the bat, in case you were actually considering, in case you were curious, this movie fucking sucks. for, for me, this is probably going to be my first, fuck this movie review, because I hated this movie, and so did my friend seeing, and I think that's where I'm going to start off. So just a forewarning, this is not going to be a positive review, so you may want to leave. Click that orange X or red X if you don't want to hear anything negative about this movie. This movie kind of infuriated me. It started when we lost power last night. Or this house in particular lost power. This house in particular, the fucking street. It lost power, and when we had to set up candles and stuff, and my dad and I were talking, and we just kept talking, and I thought to myself, there's really nothing to do, so why not go see a movie? My friend down the street, he doesn't have power either, so it'll get us out of the house. It'll get our mind off the fact that we don't have any power, and we'll have to wait for it to come back on to do stuff, and it'll just pass time by. So he says yes, and then we toss movie suggestions at each other. He suggests a couple of movies, but none of them were The Witch. It was like a Deadpool, 13 Hours. Race, the movies that are in theaters right now, and I suggest The Witch, and he replies with fine. He replied with an almost audible sigh, and I replied back with sigh. Why sigh? Why do you not want to see it? He said, well, I'm not really down for the horror movies, right? I'm not really down with horror movies. They're too spooky for me. But if you want to see it, we can go see it. So I just told him, you could suck it up. And then we just went to go see it. I think we should have stayed away as he wanted to. We should have saw something else, because this was not a horror movie. This was a fucking comedy. This movie, it's about this family that's having a crisis of faith. It's set in the 1800s. This family that's having a crisis of faith because their baby boy is taken by a witch, insinuated to be chopped up and put over her, because even though it's an R-rated movie, they don't have the balls to show anything. So whatever. And so since they're super religious, they start thinking oh, they're haunted, they're cursed, and whatever. And then their kids start to act really weird. And then the daughter at one point, in a dump of exposition, claims herself to be a witch, because they couldn't get that out in any other way, shape, or form, except for just uncontextual fucking fucking shouting it towards a character as a joke. So now, the family has a suspicion of her being a witch. The kids start acting weird. One of the kids find a witch in the woods, which I'm surprised it's not called the woods or something, because we'll get to that. And he dies. Then the kids are being terrible kid actors and act like they're being possessed too. Then they this whole movie's just fucking stupid, because it's played off like The Village, except it doesn't have as much of an interesting twist as The Village does. And that's a Shyamalan movie. And this movie needs fucking subtitles. Since the first line in the movie is this dude in a tribunal for his astute Christian beliefs, and the village council is fucking this movie looks like it could have been a college play, because this council of actors was fucking terrible, because it's written like a high school play too. Dolph Hithereth denieth thine withholdings with not. It's like, it's that kind of dialogue. And I know this is the 1800s. That's how people used to talk. But whatever, I'm gonna be mad at it anyway because the rest of the movie's boring anyway. I can let things pass if a movie's entertaining. This movie did not provide any kind of entertainment to actually make me let something pass. And then this this father character has the deepest, mumbliest voice I've seen in I've heard in an English movie in a long time. And it doesn't help that I think that one of the speakers broke in the theater. So while his deep was super voice and the speaker broke, his voice got more high pitched, which made him even more mumbly and even harder to understand because there was a hum going on. And it was just annoying. Speaking of bad voices, it was just annoying. Listen to him talk is literally like listening to someone with mum mouth. Like he's just like, the witch, God bless. I did not damn this. What are you saying? And everyone's talking in this 18th century kind of speak, which is fair, but this movie just takes its fucking time and doesn't get to the point at all. It shows 15-second shots each of people just doing stuff. And the soundtrack makes you think that this is the scariest fucking movie that there is because it's constantly just an orchestral score going. And it's annoying. This woman's just doing nothing but washing clothes near the river. Why are you so scared? And then this movie has an 86 out of 100 on Metacritic. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? This fucking pseudo-intellectual jerk fest of a fucking interpret it yourself movie so that way the screenwriters don't have to do any work. Fuck that. It's so fucking boring. Everyone delivers a wooden performance with the exception of two people. The goat, because the goat's fucking adorable, and the kid, who's playing the son of the family. I don't know his name, and I don't know if I've seen him in anything else. I probably haven't because he looks young. I hope this kid does go places, because some of his scenes are legitimately creepy. And when the camera calls for him... When the movie calls for him to be creepy and possessed, he can be creepy and possessed. So I hope that he goes on to do better things, because even as a kid, this kid's far better than this fucking movie. And when he dies, the movie just fucking goes kaput. And I'm gonna get to the ending, so fucking spoilers, as if you're already here if you actually cared about the movie, because you fucking hear me cursing about it all the time. This movie has some fucking stupid shots in it, because at the very end, the father locks up the kids and the daughter in a barn, but then they want to insinuate that a witch broke them out, or one of them is a witch, so they show the dad walking out, a 15-second fucking shot of this camera just following this guy walking with no sound, no nothing. Well, at least I shouldn't say that no sound, because the orchestra wasn't fucking letting up. I like how this is my pantomime for an orchestra. And the barn is just... And then it cuts to a behind shot of him, and the barn is just fucked up. And the goats are dead. We don't know where the kids went. I'm assuming that they just vanished into a deleted scene. And it shows that the girl is just lying on the ground. But the barn is completely fucked up. The wood is broken. The door is blasted open. The door's blasted open. Everything on the barn is fucked up. And then it just cuts to him doing this. It looks like the actor was like, "Are you fucking serious?" And then the black goat, which they specifically point out is black. Bad movie. I'm just kidding. The black goat rams its horns into him, and he picks it, and he assumes it's the devil, and he picks up an axe, and then he lets it go because bad screenwriting, and then the goat hits him again to where he falls into he is rammed into this stack of logs, and then the logs fall on him, which kind of hide his body. but at the same time doesn't when the movie calls for it and the girl comes to check on him in the end. But then when the goat is done ramming him and then the logs fall on him, the goat, you could tell that like the goat didn't really know what was going on because the goat's just, and then it just walks off camera. So it's like, I'm fucking done, bye. And then the girl comes over to check on him with his body now miraculously not buried in logs. Then the mom goes crazy, and starts having a slap fight with her, because this is how you indicate a fight scene that someone's trying to kill you. Someone's trying to kill you because they think you're a witch, so they just start slapping you. And then the girl like takes the axe and like shoves it in the mom's face, which, like, you know, the gore work in this movie, for everything that I've said about this movie, the gore work is actually not that bad. When it wants to be gory, it can be gory, but it's rated R, and it barely does anything with the rating other than show you naked boobs. So it then cuts to the girl, like her entire family is dead, with the exception of the twins, because they just vanished into bad editing. And she just kind of slouches, and then it cuts to black. And I thought that this is where the movie was going to end, because I thought that, like, for as much as I don't like this movie, I can at least give it a little bit of credit in the fact that maybe it's insinuating that it was more the paranoia of Satan. It's the paranoia of religion that caused this family to basically destroy itself from the inside out. So, you know, that would kind of be interesting. Nope. Satan's real. And just fucking, she goes into the barn and is like, "Doth understandeth my languageth, black sheep." And I was waiting for the sheep to go, "Fucking no. You need subtitles. You couldn't fucking understand anybody in this movie." But then the goat ASMRs her and starts talking back, being like, "Doth thou seest the book in front of you?" And it's like, back the fuck up from the mic. Am I watching an ASMR video or am I watching a horror movie? I'm watching neither. I'm watching crap. And then apparently the devil's a cowboy, because he walks in with cowboy boots going ching, ching, and then like taps her on the back and is like, "Oh, I'm here." So this movie pretty much, Satan's real. Lucifer is real. It's not even a question anymore. And the movie just ends with her becoming a witch, joining a witch circle, and with these other women there, doing the witch thing around a campfire, because that's all people can have witches do in these movies. And then they all start floating up, and then it cuts to black, and then it's just done. And then the movie's done. It just decides that it's done with itself. It already proved to you that Satan exists. That almost screams like it was tacked on. I would not be surprised if there was a director's cut with this movie that just had more footage before that ending scene, and just cut with the girl realizing that her family's gone. Fuck this movie. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it like whatsoever. Even when I left the theater, the first thing that I looked to my friend, I looked at my friend and go, and the first thing I say is, "What the fuck was that? Fucking waste of time." Fucking, this movie was a waste of time of the people who made it, the people who went to go see it, the people who paid for it. Luckily, I had a free ticket, so I didn't have to pay to see it. And then the movie does this thing that a lot of movies do now, where at the very end of the credits, or not even at the end of the credits, at the very end of the movie, it goes, "This movie helped employ hundreds of people and has had thousands of man hours put into it." Fuck you. I don't even care. That's just a shoddy way of putting it into your movie to avoid internet criticism. Fuck you. No. I don't even care. The Room provided hundreds of people with jobs and probably had 100 man hours put into it. That didn't stop it from being a bad movie and becoming ridiculed. And neither is this movie. I'm sure everyone who worked on this movie is nice. I'm sure the actors are nice. The people who made it are nice, whatever. And I'm sure that the thousands of hours that people put into this did actually matter. But you know what? Then you know what? If this had thousands of hours of man hours put into it, this movie's a disgrace to those hours, and these people deserve better. Or at least the editor fucked these people out of having a good movie. I did not enjoy this movie whatsoever. I don't understand why it has an 86 out of 100 on Metacritic. I just have to assume that it's because it's like a critic jerk fest. It feels like a Sundance movie that like people were like, oh, let's put this in theaters. And then people can have an intellectual pseudo jerk off fest about it. Because leave it up to your own interpretation. So the screenwriters and the director doesn't have to, and fucking anyone else doesn't have to do anything. Fuck this movie. I'm sorry that this went on for so long. God bless you if you're still watching, and I hope that you have a nice day or a night. Don't see The Witch or The Vitch because it's too cool for standard spelling.